It's an interesting question that has sparked debate between many college football fans and analysts in recent years. Is it better to play a hard or easy non-conference schedule? On one hand, you have the aggressive teams that schedule top Power 4 opponents as often as they can, which helps build excitement for unique games early in the season, and also gives your squad a chance to show off their dominance. Games like we have in Week 1, Ohio State, Texas, Clemson, LSU, those are marquee matchups that garner national attention and will propel whoever wins to the top of the rankings. Plus, with the 12-team playoffs, nobody who loses in Week 1 can be counted out from the rest of the way. You could even argue that squads like OSU and Texas could use an early loss to figure out their deficiencies as quickly as possible, so that their young QBs and new coaches are better prepared and battle-tested for the more important games later in the year. On the other hand, you have the teams that are scared of competition or simply prefer to have an easier path. Indiana is the big example right now, having canceled 2 games against Louisville and 2 games against Virginia over the next few years, replacing those games with bouts against Kennesaw State, Austin Peay, and Eastern Illinois. Louisville and Virginia aren't even marquee opponents, but Curt Cignetti would prefer to avoid as many Power 4 opponents as possible and keep his team fresh early on in the season. I'll say many SEC teams have been doing this for a long time as well, scheduling FCS schools and low G5 schools in an effort to balance out their tough in-conference schedule. But in Indiana's case, they had to pay a $500,000 fee to Virginia to cancel those games, and they're also losing out on the potential ticket and TV revenue that is gained by playing another Power 4 team on their schedule. Also, for schools that are vying for the playoffs, having a strong resume and strength of schedule is a major talking point at the end of the season, and performance in top out-of-conference games is heavily scrutinized. You have to give yourself the best chance of making the playoffs, and sometimes that means giving yourself opportunities to boost your resume. College football fans have argued about this for years. Is a 12-0 record from a group of 5 team like UCF or Cincinnati better than a 10-2 record out of the Big Ten or SEC? In Cincinnati's case, they beat Notre Dame out of conference and ended up making the playoffs. For UCF, they didn't play anybody of value and were left out. Again, now with the 12-team playoff, teams that play an easy schedule may be rewarded with a bid to the tournament, but it might put them at a disadvantage when they have to win 3 or 4 games against the best teams in the country. The SEC just announced last week that they're going to be moving to a 9-game conference slate starting next year, and will keep requiring every SEC team to schedule a Power 4 non-conference opponent. This is the huge news that we had later last week before Week 0 started. This will ensure more high-quality matchups every season, but you know the phones at Rutgers and Wake Forest are still going to be hot with SEC teams trying to schedule them. That's part of the issue as well. So to answer the original question, I think a tough out-of-conference schedule being beneficial just depends on how good you are. If you're a top team that is confident in beating anybody, then scheduling big matchups early on is a great way to get your season rolling with a memorable win, build excitement for the fans, and make your mark in the eyes of the playoff committee. If you're not confident in beating power teams, then don't schedule power teams. While losing a big game isn't the end of the world, it still is a loss and shrinks your margin for error the rest of the season.